I have so many tips, tricks, and hacks for you guys for mature skin that I actually am going to have to create a second video. But if you're curious to see what I'm talking about in this first video, then let's get into it. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So just a little bit of housekeeping. I apologize, I did not post a video last week. A couple of reasons for that. One, you can kind of see I am in a new space. So we actually moved my studio from the one bedroom that was my one son's bedroom, and now my other son has moved out. So I have now taken over his room as my actual filming room. It's a little bit of a better location for me. I'm not probably going to get as hot in here because the sun isn't going to come beaming in as what used to happen in my other room. The sun would just come right into the window and I would just fry in there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that doesn't happen in here. And then I just made my other son's room, I made that just like an office for myself because I do work a full-time job on top of YouTube. So I've just made a little bit of a home office for myself. So it's nice having two different spaces. So if things look a little bit different and sound a little bit different, I'm just working my way through the lighting and the sound and all that sort of stuff. So just let me know kind of what your thoughts are on it. And then the second reason, which is a little bit of a sad news, is so our 14-year-old Shih Tzu, she actually had to go and have eye removal surgery. And as drastic as that sounds, it was actually better. It's going to be a better quality of life for her. She was in severe pain. Just a little bit of a backstory. I'm trying to get into the makeup here, but I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of what's been going on. She went blind, I'm going to say the end of June, beginning of July of last year, so 2023. She had a really severe glaucoma episode happen and she went blind. So we've been trying to manage that over the last, well, since then with eye drops and pain medication. What has happened, she just went to an eye specialist about a month ago and they said that the eye medication is no longer working. The pressure on her eyes was just building and building and building. So it's not actually safe for her. So we made the decision that the only course of action was to actually have her eyes removed. Now, she has been blind anyhow. So for her, it really wasn't a change because she's already blind. So the only lucky thing is that she's a Shih Tzu. So the hair actually grows down over her where her eyes would have been. It's not going to actually look like her eyes are missing. And it's very clean looking, like they basically just sew the eyes up. I was going to bring her in here. She actually has one of those cones on right now, but she's sleeping, so I'm just going to let her be. Yeah, it's been just a bit of a change these last couple weeks, so I apologize for not uploading, but I want to get into this video. I'm super excited with this video. I was going through a bunch of products, and I'm thinking, you know what? There's so many of you reach out, either you DM me or in the comments and you ask, hey, you know, what do you suggest for this? Or what do you suggest for that? Or I love that tip that you gave us. So I thought, you know what, why don't I create a video that encompasses all of that? And as I was going through, I was making notes for stuff and I'm like, this video is going to be way too long if I include everything. So we're going to do a part 1. I'm not sure when I'll be able to get the part 2 done, but for sure we'll do part 1 right now. So let's jump into the actual product part. So I don't want this to be all about products and that sort of thing. That certainly plays a role in all of this, but I also want to show different techniques or tips or tricks that kind of help me over the years. Now, as mature women, I'm sure you can relate. Definitely things that I used to do way back when, in my 20s, my 30s, just doesn't work anymore. I have to use either different products that will be more complementary to my mature dry skin, or just different techniques. I can't apply the makeup like I used to. Either the product will settle into my fine lines or it accentuates my wrinkles. So there's different things that I've had to do to adapt to all of these changes on my skin. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So one of the first things that I do, and I'm going to try and incorporate this into how I use this in either my skincare or my makeup routine. So the first thing that I have really started to do a little bit more than I used to is exfoliating. On my dry skin, I find in the wintertime, I only exfoliate maybe twice a week. And I usually give it a couple of days in between to do that. So in the summertime, I usually add on one more day. So I do about 3 times a week for exfoliating. Now, there's different products you can use for that. I find exfoliating is really key, especially on your face. Maybe your makeup isn't being removed as thoroughly as it should. All of that flaky type of skin is still, on your skin, needs to be removed. Sometimes just using like a cleanser, soap, all that sort of stuff just isn't going to remove those dry patches. So the one product that I use, and I find it just helps me speed up the process, is I actually use like an exfoliating glove. Now I'll see if I can link something similar in the description box down there for you guys. This one I just picked up at the drugstore, but I find this is just the easiest. Especially because when I'm in the shower, I just throw it on and then very gently, like I'm not being harsh with it because this is actually quite gritty. So very gently, I just go through my face and try and get off all of that dead skin. I can sometimes feel like if there's still a little bit of residue left, like around here where I wear my reading glasses, I can sometimes feel a little bit of extra, stuff there. So I just give it a little bit of an extra little rub there. But like I said, be very, very gentle with these. But there's also products you can use. There's a bunch of drugstore high-end ones. They all sell like a cream type of product that will have a little bit of coarseness to it, a little bit of grit in there, and just applying that onto your face. Next up is one of my steps in my routine that I never miss, and that's applying SPF. But I'm going to combine this with another step that I was going to talk about, and I thought, why don't I just show you the products that I use to, again, speed up the process. So 2 products that I use for SPF, but also as a primer. That's the key. So one is the e.l.f. This is the Sun Touchable Whoa Glow. This is SPF 30. And like I said, what I love about this is it's sun protection, but it's also a primer. And I love the glow. So this is the one I have on today, actually. And you can see how beautiful, how glowy my skin looks. That is this product right here. And it is super affordable. But it is so easy to apply, and it is being compared to the Supergoop one. So this is far more affordable than that one. The Supergoop one that I do love, though, is the Supergoop. This is the Unseen Sunscreen. The products that I am wearing today, I do have usually a little bit of a demo as I'm going through and talking to you guys about it. But that's the e.l.f. one, and as you rub it in, it's just given a beautiful glow. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous product. Love it. But the Supergoop Unseen is a clear formula. And it is, you'll have to excuse, I have a Band-Aid on. I sliced my right in here last night as I was cooking. Of all things, I sliced my finger with tin foil. Don't ask me how. So that's why I have the Band-Aid on. So this one is... Can you see it right there? It's like it really is a clear formula. But as you rub it in, oh my goodness, you guys, it is so lovely. It has a little bit of a slip to it. I always say when you go to put your SPF on, make sure that you're letting that sink into your skin before you start applying all of your products. You're going to get the most benefit that way from your sunscreen. But this one, oh, it feels beautiful. Like it literally just is so beautiful, but it absorbs, like right now as I'm going like this, it's now absorbed into the skin. It has no scent to it. And both of these really do help with my makeup staying on longer throughout the day. But I love how it just saves me that extra step of applying my sunscreen and my primer as well. And one more thing I do want to say about primer, especially for mature skin, is I always choose formulas that are like a light formula that are easily absorbed into the skin. And I prefer ones that are more hydrating because my skin is so dry. And I really find that using primers does help the makeup stay on longer through the day and helps for the products not to settle into the fine lines. So that's why I always suggest using primer. And to go along with face primers, I really suggest, especially on mature eyes, is using like an eye primer. So the one is this is my holy grail one. Like this I use all the time. Is the Milani, the eyeshadow primer. So I do have it on today. Super affordable, Comes in like a little squeezy tube. It's like that. It's just like a really, really creamy formula. And then I usually just take them and, you know, rub my fingers together and then apply it on my eyelids. I find using this one especially, it really does help my eyeshadow look more vibrant and blends the eyeshadow on way easier. And I find there I don't have a lot of creasing throughout the day when I use an eyeshadow primer. So really highly suggest to go along with your face primer using an actual eyelid primer as well. All right, so now we're going to dive into a little bit of complexion type of products. So I love foundations. I use foundations all the time. I use different types of foundations. Sometimes I like medium coverage. Sometimes I like more of like a skin tint. So there is a whole bunch of different types that you can get out there. I am thinking of doing a video like that on different like BB creams, CC creams, skin tints, foundations, all that sort of stuff. But I'm just trying to formulate the ideas in my head as I'm trying to create the video. So stay tuned. I'll have one of those in the future for you guys. But I always believe that applying foundation, I do it a little bit differently than I used to when I was in my, you know, younger years. Back then, I used to just kind of slap it on and, you know, apply it all over the face. I find now I'm a little bit more strategic of where I apply it. There's a lot of times where I actually don't apply it to my entire face. And another product that you can use, instead of using foundation, like if you have not a lot of skin issues, like you don't have a lot of hyperpigmentation, or you don't need to really even out your skin tone. One of the things you can do is just using a concealer in place of like a foundation. Like as a concealer, one of the best ones out there is the Lancome, the Tint Idel. It is actually called an all-over concealer because that's what it's designed to do. It is one of those products you can use just not under your eyes, but also throughout your face. And you can simply apply it with your fingers. You can apply it with a sponge. I generally go in usually with like my sponge. This is just like an e.l.f. sponge, but there's always like a ton of sponges out there you can grab. And then a great product that you can use instead of a foundation is a BB cream, or the one that I gravitate to is the Bare Minerals. This is the Complexion Rescue. This is like one of those products that has been around forever. It comes in quite a shade range. It's the product that I'm wearing on my face today. And then I'll show you the other product I went in with and just kind of touched up a little bit because this is more on the lighter coverage, but it's really beautiful. It's very light and airy. And then when you blend it in, it gives a great, like a radiance to the skin. It also helps that it has like an SPF in it. I believe it's SPF 30. Not that I rely on my makeup to give me SPF benefits. That's why I always use a separate sunscreen. Yes, this one does have SPF 30. I find it's like really extremely hydrating, blends easily into the skin. You can see here, like nothing is settling into my fine lines at all. So absolutely love this one. It's a great product. Hyaluronic acid is in it, and also squalene. So if that doesn't give you enough coverage, then I suggest going in with just like a really light foundation. So the one that I did go in and apply today is the Revlon, the Skin Caring Foundation. And the combination of these two is just amazing. I'm always, forever, I'm always combining different products all the time, like foundations. You sometimes would be amazed at the products when you mix them together you make your own little concoction of stuff and you're like, oh, that actually works pretty good. That's what I do. And then when you blend the two together, again, just really beautiful, hydrating, very radiant. This is one of those foundations that over time, it is supposed to improve your skin. So really great drugstore find. And then a couple of higher end ones. This is the Estee Lauder Futuristic Hydro Rescue. I think this is in a lot of people's makeup routine. I know there's when I have used this in the past, I have a lot of comments that are left saying, oh my goodness, I love that. That one's a great one. It is a little bit more on the runnier side, but again, it just gives that beautiful luminosity. Look at that. I think it is just amazing on mature skin, especially if you have dry skin. This one has SPF 45 in it. So it'll help give, I'm going to say it'll help give a little bit of a boost to your regular SPF. And then one of my all-time favorites is the Haus Labs foundation. This one isn't as runny. Just looks so, so beautiful. Look at that radiance. Oh my goodness. It is just gorgeous. It even feels like, as I'm doing this, it even feels soft on the skin. But I've shown these products a bunch of times on my channel. I can direct you in the description box. I'll put some videos that I have used it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this one actually was one of my favorites for 2023 for foundations. Now I'm going to demonstrate for you one of the newest things that I've been doing in my makeup routine that I'm obsessed with actually, and it's a really easy hack. So instead of using eyeliner all the time, sometimes I struggle with the actual eyeliner. My eyes are getting actually really bad lately. And so when I go to apply eyeliner, I'm like, oh my goodness, I need my glasses in order to do this. Well, that's kind of hard putting on eyeliner with glasses. So one of the first things that I have been doing is using just like a really basic eyeshadow palette. So the one that I use today on my eyes is the Physicians Formula. This is called the Matte Mono Butter Eyeshadow Palette. This is just like such a cute little palette, very basic. It's got some nice, really cute neutral shades and then a couple of darker shades. Well, what I love is this one dark shade I use as an eyeliner. So I'll demonstrate to you what I've been doing with the eyeliner hack. So one of the first things I find for me is most important, because I really suck at doing like any sort of a wing liner. My eyes are getting a little bit like on the hooded side, just so I have like a little bit of a flappy skin there. So to try and do any sort of wing is just, you know, I throw that out the door. I will say free hand. But I love the look of a wing on mature eyes because I think it really does give an uplifting look to the eye and kind of softens up the eye. So what I first do, and one of the most important things to do first, is the right tools. So the first thing I always say is to get yourself a flat eyeliner brush. Okay, so you can see how flat that is. This is just actually an e.l.f. one, an e.l.f. flat eyeliner brush. And then what I do is I get the tape and I apply it so that any sort of mistakes that I make will just end up on the tape. So I go through, I don't have this part as the demo. I just quickly go through and I used just these shades right here. I went in and put this shade on and this one here. So I just threw those shades on, and then I used this one just on the outer part. That's kind of giving me that little bit of a smoky eye at the end there. But what the trick is taking that flat brush, so what you're looking for is any sort of dark shade. I mean, you can use certainly like a brown or that sort of thing. I just prefer to use more of like a charcoal. So that shade there is perfect because you can see it's more of like a dark gray. And then I take that shade and I start just pressing the eyeshadow onto the eye and really, really close to the lash line. And I don't go all the way across. You can see that I stop about halfway. Like I stop about that. So you're doing more of a gradual wing. And then once you get it applied like that, what I love about the eyeshadow is it's very soft and very forgiving. So if you do make a mistake, it is very easy to clean up. I will say that's another thing about makeup is if you make a mistake, it washes off. That's why I always say play with makeup. It's fun to play with makeup. And you know, it's one of those things that you just wash it off. If you make a mistake, wash it off. But that's what I love about the eyeshadow. Whereas sometimes eyeliner, depending on what eyeliner you use, sometimes you have to act quite quickly or it dries down and it's very hard to now remove it. But eyeshadow stays on, like it stays on. If I like to smudge it out, which I do, so then I take another brush. This is just the BK Beauty, the 210 brush. So that has like a little bit of a pointed end here. And I take that product and I just go back and forth really gently and try and smudge that out. So then what you end up with, once you remove the tape, is just this really soft, natural looking wing. I think it looks really pretty on mature eyes. It's not harsh looking, but you can see it's giving me just, my eyes are being lifted up a little bit rather than looking kind of droopy. So that is one of the best hacks that I've been doing lately. I love it. I pretty much do it every day, but it just gives such a softness using the eyeshadow it doesn't fade. Like after I've used that, especially that's why I think it's important to use the eyeshadow primer, is that's really going to help that wing stay all day. So just a little hack for you guys that I've been trying out. Now, one of the things that I talk about relentlessly on my channel, and you see it pretty much in every makeup tutorial that I do, is tight lining. I find tight lining is super important on mature eyes because I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, my eyelashes have become sparse, they've thinned out, they don't have that fullness that they once did. So by tight lining, it's just going to help fill in any of those areas that look a little bit sparse. Like I find my upper waterline here, it's such a difference if I do, once I put my mascara on, and I can totally tell if I've forgotten to do it, and I'm like, oh, I can totally see, because I see that my skin on my upper waterline, I can see the skin. And once you fill in the tight lining, it just makes your eyes look fuller. Or I should say your eyelashes look fuller. So I'll show you the 3 products that I use. Again, they can be any sort of any sort of gel type of eyeliner. I find those work well. The only thing to be careful with those ones is sometimes they can transfer then to your bottom waterline. I try and use the ones that I know don't transfer. One of them is a drugstore one, and it's the L'Oreal. This is the Infallible 24-hour liner. This one, I think it's just like a brown shade, but this one looks just beautiful on the waterline. I like how it stays put. It does say 24 hours. Now, I don't wear my makeup for 24 hours, so I can't attest to that. But what I will say is it does definitely stay in the waterline. The next one is the Sephora. This is in the shade. Just let me see, because I think I have this one. I've had this one so much that it's starting to wear off. So this one is water, and that was the other thing I was going to say. Try and get one that's waterproof, because that's also going to help it stay in the waterline. Shimmer Taupe. You can barely make out. I have used this one so much. I have about 2 backups of this one. I use this one, I'm going to say, pretty much every day. But this is the one that I did use in my waterline today. Look at that gorgeous shade right there. It gives such a softness to the eye. When I tight line, it's not that I'm, totally filling in my waterline. I'm actually putting the product kind of in between the lashes a little bit. That's going to help give it that fullness. So it's not just running it on the waterline, it's just trying to get it into the lashes as well. And then my third one that I use a lot is the Mario. This is a Pigment Pro pencil. This is in the shade Perfect Brown, which it really is perfect brown. And it's this one on the end here. Very creamy. You want a pencil that is softer, so you're not doing any sort of tugging on your eye. I think that's really important too on mature eyes, is not doing a lot of tugging. You don't want to create any more lines than you may already have. So I find just giving that, like I said, more of a gel liner really does help. And you can see by the demonstration that it does give you that fullness to your eye. So one of the next steps that I think is really important for mature skin is bringing back some warmth into the skin. So by that, I mean applying a bronzer. So I think bronzer helps give that radiance back to the skin. I find it provides a little bit of like a youthful kind of glow to it. Using bronzer, I think, just helps you look a little bit, your skin look a little bit healthier. Instead of going, getting a tan, I always gravitate to using a bronzer. So my go-to is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear Bronzer. I have this one in the shade 300. If I haven't talked about any of the shades that I've shown you guys, I will have all of that linked in the description box. Sometimes I forget to tell you guys what shade it is I'm using, so that will always be down in the description box for you. But this is, I'm starting to hit pan on it. This is such a beautiful bronzer because it gives you a matte kind of look, but it doesn't look drying on the skin. I find sometimes with more of a shimmery bronze, sometimes that can accentuate some of my fine lines and stuff. So I do like to stick to more of a matte bronzer. And by applying it with a really nice fluffy brush, like this is the BK Beauty, this is the 103 bronzer brush. Love this brush. It really is that beautiful fluffiness to it. Distributes it nicely to the skin. If you want to save yourself some time, Bare Minerals has one that's called a Blonzer. That's right, Blonzer. So it is a blush and a bronzer in one. So I have this one in the shade Kiss of Pink. This one is such a beautiful shade. Look at that. And then it's not too shimmery, which is nice. And then it blends in really, really nicely. But I love how it gives you that combination of warmth, but also just a hint of color so that it looks like you're wearing a blush as well. So this is a great, fantastic product. Next thing that I recommend is using cream blushes. I believe that so much so that I actually did a whole video on cream products. I'll put the thumbnail over here for you guys. You can go check it out if you haven't already. And that was a whole, like, I believe cream products are so, so good for mature skin. And there's just a certain element to the products. They don't settle into fine lines and that sort of thing that I find sometimes powders can. They always look beautiful on the skin. They kind of give a radiance to the skin as well. Most times they're super easy to use and I just love them. So the one that I'm actually wearing on my face today is the Milani. This is the Cheek Kiss in the shade Coral Cove. But it's, look at that. It's just so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And look at that shade. Simply gorgeous. And I just usually apply it with my Angie Hot and Flashy. This is the A507 brush. This can be used for powders and creams, but the brushes are, like the Angie Hot and Flashy brushes are specifically designed for us mature ladies. They're usually very gentle on the skin. The bristles are very gentle. So highly recommend if you haven't checked out any of these brushes. I'll have the ones that I use today, I'll have them linked down below for you guys. But that's just a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. And then if you like more higher end products, there's also the Fenty Beauty Cream blush as well. I have this one in this shade, Petal Poppin. Now, dare I say, I mean, I think I could even go as far as to say that these could be really a dupe. The formula is a little bit different. The Milani one is a little bit more emollient, but look at that. Like pretty similar. I mean, they're not exact, but I'll say they're an alternative. Beautiful. You can see even just on my hands how the Milani one is a little bit more emollient than the Fenty Beauty one. But gorgeous, gorgeous shades. And then the other one that I want to add also into the mix is the Merit. So this is the Merit Flesh Balm. They're really great because they are multitasking. So this you can use as your blush. This one I have in the shade Stockholm. So that is just gorgeous. But what I love about this is you can actually put it on and use it as like a lip product as well. So products doing double duty. So this is like one of my OG favorites is the Merit Flesh Balms. But those cream products are just so lovely on the skin. Just make mature skin, especially if you have dry skin, just make it radiant and give it like a healthy glow. Next up is, I always say, don't be afraid of a little glowiness, a little shine. You know that well, you can see today, I love looking glowy. That's just my own personal opinion. Not everybody likes that, but that's just kind of my go-to look. So a couple of products that I use in order to achieve how this looks on my skin. There's a couple products that I absolutely love. One of them is not going to be a surprise to anybody, and it's the Rare Beauty. This is her Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter. So I have this one in the shade Mesmerize. It is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous product. This has won numerous awards. Look at that. This feels like silk when you do that. I don't know what the product is it's made of. It is just gorgeous. Look at that. I apply this to the high points of my cheek. I usually apply it onto the bridge of my nose and right on my cupid's bow. Sometimes I don't do this every day, but sometimes I'll put it like on the inner corners well, that just kind of brightens the eye area up. And then sometimes I'll put it like right above my eyebrow. And I think that adding this little bit of, I'm going to say radiance, a little bit of shine, I think it just helps mature skin look more youthful. What I find about this product is it's not over the top. So love this one. And then if you're looking for more of a all over type of glow type of product, there's the L'Oreal. This is the True Match Lumi Glotion. That's right, Glotion with a G. Now this is a liquid product, but this is one of those really versatile products. You can mix it in with your foundation. You can just apply this to your face if you want. I use this one actually to put like as a highlighter some days. But again, this is one of those products that's been around forever, right there. And then as you blend it in, look at that glowiness. It's a beautiful shine, but it's not one of those products that is going to like, oh my goodness, like a strobe light that she's, you know, oh my goodness, she's really outdone herself there. And another important step that I think sometimes gets missed and this part of the body kind of gets neglected, in my opinion, is the lips. So I am a real firm believer in exfoliating your lips. And if you're not using, you know, one of the products that when I talked about at the beginning using exfoliator, they actually have lip products for that. The one that I've been using a lot lately, and this is, it's such a fantastic little product, and I wish more companies would come out with these type of products. So this one is actually by e.l.f. and it is their lip exfoliator. Now there's a couple of things about this product that I'm absolutely loving. One is the smell. So it smells like strawberries. So I could sit here all day and smell the strawberries. And then all you do is, so it comes like a little balm. I just gently take it and in circular motions, just apply it all over the lips. And you can feel like there's just a very, very small little granular type of product in there. But do it very gently. You can feel like the dead skin coming off. I think that's really important for mature skin. I don't know about you, but for me personally, I find my lips are really dry, especially in the wintertime. It's just one of those areas that like I said, I think it just gets neglected. So once I'm done taking all of that off, and then I just use the cotton pad and I just remove all of that stuff that was on my lips. Even before I apply my lipstick then, I just take a lip balm. So my favorite is like the Nivea Lip Balm. It's just like a real, like an average, you know, drugstore find. I throw that on. I let that sit sometimes for a couple of minutes to sink into the skin. And then I go in with my lipstick and my lip liner and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, like I said, and this is such a great little product. I love it. And super affordable. But what the nice thing is about using a product like that is like my lips feel super smooth right now. And my lipstick and my lip liner apply way better and stay on. Like this lipstick has actually been on for quite a while and I haven't, it's just a regular bullet lipstick. I'll have that listed down below what I'm wearing, but hasn't faded at all. And yeah, like it just feels really good on the lips. So let me know if you found this useful and if you agree, disagree with my tips and tricks and all that sort of stuff. Like I said, I'm going to have a part 2 coming out. Don't know when, but definitely I will have another part 2 coming out. I have so many other tips and tricks and all that hacks and all that sort of stuff for you guys. So I will have that in the near future. I just want to welcome also all my new subscribers. Oh my goodness, that last video that I had, I can't believe how you guys enjoyed it. So thank you so much. And thank you to all my new subscribers. And thank you to all my regular viewers for watching. If you aren't already subscribed, I would love for you to consider subscribing and becoming a little part of my world here on YouTube. Just make sure to hit that notification bell that's right beside the subscribe button, and that way you're notified whenever I upload new videos. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. That also helps my channel out a lot. Like I mentioned before, all of the products that I used today and also some additional videos will be linked and listed down below. And if you ever do use any of my affiliate links, I thank you very much for helping to support my channel. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!